never had the guts to make the right one.
Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube fam? This is Samuel Leggett here representing Team JVS. I'm back here again for another movie review, and I'm going to say this. I am a big fan of the original. I am a big fan of the 2016 version of Sing. Like, I play it for my sons all the time. I remember going to the movies to see it with my wife. We had a fun time watching it. It's very entertaining. I'm a music head. Like, I love music, and I love musicals, but even more so than that, I love when animated films go and translate like great authentic music, as well as using actors vocalizing their vocal range and performances as well. Brings me back to Cats Don't Dance. You know what I'm saying? Cats Don't Dance to me was one of the best. And the thing about that was these classic tropes of just these random examples of using certain songs and using certain ideals, and I love that. You know, I mean, going down even to the Goofy movie, you know what I'm saying? Like, taking it out of context. But what did I think about the new one, Sing 2? I really enjoyed it. I honestly think that structurally, the story is tighter in this one. Like, the story is actually better to me than it is in the first one. Because the first one, it kind of bring into life who Mr. Moon is, Matthew McConaughey's character. Like, what he's striving to be, and him kind of holding this contest, and everybody else really kind of discovering themselves. It's just their beginnings, you know what I mean? It's not necessarily, and it's crazy, it's been 5 years. Like, I mean, Illumination then came out with, what, 3 or 4 different Despicable Me's, and I'm like, I was like, man, when's Sing coming out? When's Sing coming out? And then I heard, you know, maybe a few years back, or 2019, before the pandemic and everything happened, that they were working on a sequel, and I was like, oh, great, I wanted the whole cast to come back. And I can say, yes, the whole entire cast comes back, as well as they've added new addition in Halsey, and who else did they bring in? Bobby Cannavale. If you know him, he's the person that was in the Ant-Man movies. It was the other husband. They brought in Bono from YouTube Bono. Eric Andre is in this one. Heck, even Pharrell is in this. I think Latita Wright is in this. They bring a lot of new, fresh vocal range to this, but they also keep to the main core characters, which is, of course, Mr. Moon, Meena, Johnny, Rosita, Gunter, Ash, and of course Mrs. What's her name? Because Miss Kroll, who's played by Gareth Jennings. I think that they do a lot with all the characters, but it actually, honestly, the Brown Table, I appreciate him, Mercutio, for stating to me to probably not watch the original trailer. And because I didn't watch the original trailer, I didn't watch the second trailer, which is the second official trailer. The second official trailer is probably is my least favorite trailer I've seen this year. Like, if you've not seen the second trailer, don't watch it at all. It spoils way, way too much. And the plot is too good to sit there and just be spoiled over a trailer. So I highly recommend you try to avoid watching trailer number 2. Trailer number 1 does have some spoilery things I think that ruins a special moment, but the rest, for the majority of it, is like, if you've just seen that, I think you should be okay. Just want to reiterate that is very important. So try to avoid the second trailer if at all possible. Yeah. The character that Bono is actually playing is a very intricate part to this in Clay. Clay, his backstory honestly brings me to tears. Like, it really does. Like what they do with his character and the way they utilize even Scarlett Johansson's Ash in this one in connection with Bono or Clay is just so important. The human element of that, of understanding and music and sacrifice and love and death and tragedy is just so pivotal. And the other structural thing that I think they do is they capitalize from the first one, where there's a moment where we see in the very first act of the first one where, you know, Mr. Moon and his dad and Matthew McConaughey's character is kind of looking over the balcony and just like in awe and vigor. It's that idea, you know, of, okay, you started something, you found these amazing talent, but what does that really mean? What does that say about you? And it's funny because even adding, I don't want to say, Nana is back in this one as well. Like, just the characters have all progressed, but they're at a impasse. They have to move forward. And the thing about this one is that, you know, it's one thing performing in your own theater to sell out crowds and whatnot, but it's another thing going to a fish out of water situation where all odds are against you. Now, yeah, you could say this is Pitch Perfect 2 all over again. Like, people probably going to critique this and say this is just Pitch Perfect all over again, but probably done better. But to me, it's a little bit deeper than that. It's really, to me, a little bit deeper than that, because with this, the characters are really going through real metamorphosis. Like, the character Rosita in the very first one, like, I loved her breakout. Like, I love her, you know, with Gunter, and like her song, like, Reese Witherspoon nailed it. I think she did a really great job with the character Rosita and understanding like the sacrifice out of it. With this one, her character has already gotten to that point, but she's got a dream. She wants to go to a certain point of ascension, and she's met with something that she didn't think that she would have to deal with. But I will say, from a critiquing standpoint, they don't spend as much time what I think that they should with her, because they introduce a new character in this one, in Halsey's character, who's Mr. Crystal's daughter, Portia. Portia is this interesting wolf that is very talented but very spoiled. And I think that Halsey does a really good job with the character. I actually felt like she was a great addition to the game. Matter of fact, the weird thing is that relationally, there's some weird relational things that are being added into this mix of this that I really did like. There's also another character, that the character Johnny, played by Taron Egerton, is introduced into this as well, where I think that's the Tita Wright's character, Nushi. Nushi, it's just interesting to see what they do with that dynamic, because they start to blur some lines that I felt like Zootopia did with Nick and the interesting bunny, and I was just like, are they mixed relationship thing with it? It's just deeper than just the surface level thing of trying to make it, you know, and prove that you can sing, you can, like, it's more so like, where do you go from that point, you know? And I think that's what the movie ultimately is about, but also pushing past barriers that they are almost impassable, because honestly, Mr. Moon, Matthew McConaughey's character, is literally dealt with an impossible situation. Like, there's really nothing that really he could do. And it got to a point around the second act that I was like, you know, it's like, no, don't stop. And I think that the moment that you can make me rally behind and get behind, like, oh no, don't quit, you know, you've won me. Like, your story has gotten me to a point that, like, but the other thing about that is that there are certain decisions and stuff that are made. I'm just like, oh, that's really stupid. Oh, that's a waste of time. Oh man, that's a trope kind of thing. So I think that derails certain aspects of the movie. I do think that the songs are great in this. Like, the songs that they have in this are really great. But I think that the musical numbers in the last half of the first one are still top notch. Now, there's a couple songs in this that I'll never forget. And I think the thing about this one, this had better moments. This had better scripted moments, story beating moments, important moments that are outside of just singing. Like, the initial movie is like these great, you know, singing moments. There is one person that's not in this one, which I was surprised by. I'm not gonna go and bring up that, but I think that there's more important moments in this one, but I think that the singing moments in the first one were more iconic, and I think they were really great. There are some really great ones in this one, but they're kind of fleeting. But it's weird. It's weird to say. Like this to me is almost the same exact feeling that I got out of the end of Cats Don't Dance. Like there's this triumphant feeling at the end of it, whereas the first scene, I was like, yo, these new musical numbers are amazing. Tori Kelly is amazing. Like Tori Kelly actually in this one, Meena, she's kind of put to the sideline a little bit in this one, and I think that Ash and the character Clay are really front and center. Heck, I felt like they gave Mrs. Crawley more to do than Meena. And it's weird because Tori Kelly is such a strong vocal presence here, as well as a very important one coming off of the first one. But it's not, I mean, I think her and Rosita really kind of took a sideline. Gunter was important, but also not at the same time. So it's really weird. It's like they were like, we're gonna focus in on a story that we feel like is the most important and it'll bring the most laughs. And I think they do succeed there. There are a lot of laughs. There are things that really work in this. And I genuinely teared up a couple different times in this movie. And the first one never made me do that, even though I felt the relationship with, Taron Egerton's, Johnny and his dad. And I felt like the imbalance that, Meena was having with her capability of singing versus her being afraid to sing, and Mr. Moon proving himself. And again, all of this is overarching, but there are so many great things that are happening in this one that I really do love this film. And I rested at a 9 out of 10. I think that this is a great family film. I think a lot of people that didn't like the first one might like this one more, or vice versa. I'm not really sure, but I really did truly enjoy Sing 2, and I think you might as well. Make sure you go and check it out. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell button, keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. And yes, Tick Tick Boom, go and check it out on Netflix. It's available right now. I highly recommend that, as well as good music. So talk to you soon, guys.